Welcome to Leadership Unlocked, where we uncover the pivotal stories that shape extraordinary leaders. I'm Dusty Holcomb, and on this show, we don't just talk about leadership, we decode it. In every episode, we sit down with change makers who've walked through the fire, challenged the status quo, and emerged with wisdom worth sharing. These aren't just lessons, they're lived experiences, real moments that reveal the mindset, resilience, and clarity behind creating a lasting impact. Today, you're going to hear one of those stories. What if your biggest moment is exactly where your leadership begins? Raquel Braganza doesn't do surface level growth. She helps bold leaders strip back the noise, own their truth, and lead with fire. This episode is raw, real, and exactly what you need to find joy in your life. Let's get into it. This is Leadership Unlocked. Raquel.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure.
I'm selfish, and I'll just go ahead and admit it. Living in the U.S., and we all sound the same, but then having someone come on the episode who doesn't quite sound like everybody else, it's just like this nice texture change. And so thank you for making time. You're 5-6 hours ahead of us here because
I live in the UK.
Yeah, you're in the UK, and everybody gets to hear a great accent, which is always wonderful. Thank you for making the time. I am so delighted. I've been really looking forward to this conversation because you have something which I think is incredibly infectious, and it happens to be something that you focus on, which is joy, and you help people unlock joy. But before we get into nuances of what joy is and how people find theirs, tell me a little bit about you. Tell me how did you and I get to end up on a conversation on a podcast today?
So the end of my marriage shattered my entire reality. I had years of horror. We were in a brutal custody case, and we're all living together in the same house with 3 very young children. And I, at that point, had a lock in my bedroom for my own safety. I was alone. I was away from my family. I didn't have any support. And at that point, I was in constant panic mode. And then I moved on to I don't feel anything. I was just in survival mode. So I emotionally became numb. I just didn't feel it. And I did have the support of those that are my dearest people, but I was very alone in that experience. And I just didn't recognize myself anymore. I was looking for that woman that is joyful and energetic and enthusiastic and passionate. And where was she? She was gone. But my aliveness came to this shutdown because I could no longer control my circumstances. I had no control over them, let alone the outcome. And this is my question. I mean, have you ever relied on your circumstances to feel good, to have certainty? Because I surely did. And in that state of being depleted and tired and absolutely defeated, I asked myself, what is one thing that I can do that doesn't rely on anybody else, that's just up to me? Because I couldn't control the courts, and I couldn't control him, and I couldn't control where I lived anymore because I wanted to return to Portugal, which is my homeland. And I couldn't because I couldn't take my children. And you know what? I could have an amazing shower. And that nobody could take from me. And so I really stepped into that shower with joy. And I was really focused on feeling the water and the texture and the scent of my shower gel, the music that I put on. And I reclaimed my power. That shower was the moment where I reclaimed my power. And from that moment on, I was a joy treasure hunter. I was tracking it, finding it. Where is it? And I was finding a lot of it all the time. And years later, I put a post up on joy, and someone replied, how do you do that? How do you find joy when everything around you might feel like a nightmare? And she became my first client, and her life didn't change overnight, but she did. And everything around her did, because she was feeling completely different. And that's very much why I've designed this concept, which is very unique, on joy. And I'm an empowerment life coach, but I use joy as my method in moving my clients. And it's a great step to get you going, because it's about moving you from, oh, fuck, that dread.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, the wow of it. So your life is not dictated by circumstances, and it's absolutely powered by joy. And it may surprise you, but I think joy is more powerful when you're facing difficulty than when you are celebrating achievement.
All right, you've said so many things there, and I love it, and I am struck by, and I'm reminded of the circle of control. Like, and I don't know if it was Stephen Covey or Kim Blanchard or who came up with this concept. I wrote about this years ago on a blog, and it's year after year. It's the most read piece I've ever written. But like how we spend so much of our life and our life energy worrying about things that are outside of our control. So if we have the circle of concern to the circle of influence to the circle of control, and what I love about what you've said is you embraced an opportunity to find joy that was 100% completely within your circle of control. You can't influence what is going on around
everything else,
you.
but you can influence you. Absolutely.
That's
absolutely
powerful.
I think that the most specific thing that we need to think about is that I don't know what you need less of, but we all need more of this aliveness, this sense of coming alive. In the mix of chores and responsibilities and to-do lists and everybody that relies on us and that we're responsible for, we need that aliveness fully to do more of what lights us up, because everything we love comes from that. Everything that is beautiful in our lives that we value comes from that feeling alive. And that is where joy comes in, because my specific concept of joy has the main rule, the number one big rule is it has to be exclusively for you and about you. Anything else beyond that, I would consider that to be an extra joy. And I wish many, many of them for you. But my goal is for you to find joys that are yours alone. Because the main big bonus that you get immediately is you learn to feel good independently of others.
All right, I'm making a note here because you've said something that's really interesting, and I've never thought about it this way before. And this is a leadership podcast. So we're talking about leadership. We're talking about impacting others through effective leadership. And it's one of the things that really intrigued me when you and I first met. We started having a conversation because I have this belief that in order to lead and influence and impact the lives of others, you must lead yourself first. And you must have the ability to guide yourself, to lead yourself, to direct yourself, to control yourself, to find joy for yourself. And I've never thought about it until the way you just described it. And I'm thinking about this through the lens of, if I am not selfishly, but selflessly allowing myself to be my best self, to be my most joyful self, to appreciate things, that there's a cascade effect of that. It's like it's exponential. It's absolutely contagious.
Your energy is contagious, whether it's good or bad, whether it's, wonderful or not. People around you feel it. And that's the thing. Once you are in that state of joy, people want to know because they see the impact of you. Mm-hmm. They want to know, how can I have that for myself?
Well, how did you get there? Like, how did you find your shower moment? So I'm sorry, I'm just going to interrupt because I'm so curious.
Found the shower moment.
Did you read a book?
No, it was literally that desperation of, I have nothing. Like I had nothing. I was in a room with a lock. I had 3 very small children. Everything was out of my control. Bombs were landing on me all the time. And I was just seeing dread all the time. And then I looked at my shower and I thought, okay, I need to go and have that. And I thought, but that nobody else controls. Like that is mine alone. That is mine. I have hot water. Like I have that. So beyond that experience is mine. And I've had many showers crying. And I've had many showers in dread. And I had many miserable showers. Of course I had. But I looked at it and I thought, oh, no. I choose my shower. I choose how I experience that water. And what smell do I want? And what texture do I want on my skin? Do I want oil? Do I want cream? What do I want to feel? And can I put music with it? And can I shake my ass and dance in my shower? And I stepped out of the shower and my shitty reality, Dusty, was exactly the same. You know, my external world and my circumstances, they were literally the same. Did I feel the same? No. I felt great.
Yeah.
I felt like, yeah. Yeah. So I moved from the oh fuck to the fuck yeah. Now, the fuck yeah didn't apply to my entire life. My entire life was still horrific. But if I can have that with the shower, can I have that with my cup of coffee in the morning? Because your coffee tastes better in your favorite mug. It's about creating tiny, I mean, they can be big, but let's go tiny rituals, because that is the whole personality of a ritual. Rituals turn the ordinary into extraordinary. You always have coffee every morning, or tea, or whatever, you know, the fresh orange juice, whatever you do. But that tastes better in the best cup, the best glass, the best, your best. It doesn't have to be crystal, but your favorite. And when you are in that place of preparing the drink, finding the container for the drink, you're already in anticipation because you've chosen this to be your joy moment.
There's the key right there. Like, you've chosen the key moment.
This
You're
is going to be your
anticipating.
joy moment.
Yeah, this is going to be like, you can always look forward to the cup of coffee. And I think so often our rituals we can become slaves to our rituals, and and lose the joy of the ritual, or lose the reason that we started the ritual in the first place. But the
majority of our rituals are more things that we have to do. I don't really think that the majority of us have rituals. That's where it goes.
I don't disagree with you there. I don't disagree.
It's about having a ritual in the concept of ritual. So we all love you every day, but then it's your birthday. I don't love you more on your birthday than I did the day before, or that I'm going the day after. But on your birthday, we have a ritual. We celebrate you. We think about all the good things about you. We think about why you make a difference in our lives. And it's the same with any specific holiday or a party, or nothing has changed beyond the fact that you've chosen to really celebrate it. So what if you could have minute ones throughout your day? So, for example, I have people that find that they're very anxious in certain moments, like before a big meeting, when they're meeting a client. The staff meetings have become difficult. So you're entering a moment, aren't you? Can you have a ritual that empowers you in that? So what about a beautiful roll-on that has some essential oil that you love, and you just get a good sniff of that, and you go, I love that smell, I love how I feel. That's a tiny ritual, but it changes how you feel. Your morning, do you have a shower most days? What if that becomes a little party where you feel great about your life and how you feel because you change the smell, and you change the texture, and you change the song, or you put whatever you like to listen to on. And it's about getting you into a state where you're more in awe of everything that you already have.
Well, so
around you.
You know, it's interesting hearing you talk about it that way. And I've not thought about rituals in this sense, like choosing to embrace the ritual in the moment. There's two things that come to mind. One is, I agree with you that most people don't have good rituals, that they're choosing to do these rituals to empower themselves, to refresh themselves. They may have rituals. Like, I have a ritual of meditation, but I'm recognized that if I'm not thoughtful about the meditation practice, that I can go through the rote application of it and not the joy of why I'm doing it in the first place. It almost becomes pharisaical, as I'm just going through the process because I'm supposed to go through the process, instead of embracing the moment of joy to be present. That's cool. And you said something else I love, and it's your birthday. You don't love someone more or less because it's their birthday, but on their birthday, they revel in their joy. So as I think about this, and I think of like, okay, I feel, I want to create joy for others, or I get joy in serving others. On my birthday, it's completely okay for me to go, oh, hell yeah, this cake's about me. Today's about me. Like, it's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay to be a little selfish. And what you're saying is, damn it, you should be a little bit selfish about controlling and creating your joy every day?
I think we need to change the word because
Okay, please.
selfish is a little bit more, oh my God, I'm just thinking about me, right? So let's use this empowering yourself. I need time too. I need love too. I need connection too. I need to feel great too. Because that's the issue with leaders. I work with a lot of leaders, and leaders are constantly looking to fix everything for everyone. And they feel this massive weight of responsibility because so many people rely on them and because they don't want to let anybody down. And so, in some ways, leaders are in service all the time.
All the
To the
time.
cause, to the staff, to the family, to the dream, to the aspiration, to the dream that is bigger than what they have today. They're always in service, but then they don't fill their own cup up. And this is where depletion comes from. So I'm not asking you to do long, big, enormous kind of, there could be heavy things of, oh, you need to meditate for 3 hours in the morning. You need to journal for 2. You need to, I'm not saying that. I'm saying confetti your day with tiny moments where you feel that aliveness. So for example, if you love nature, you just take that moment to look outside and go, what's the flower doing? What's that bird doing? What are the leaves saying? But it was there the day before, just the same. But the ritual is that curiosity of being alive and of experiencing the things that you love and being more connected to the things that you love, because it's about the energy. You were talking about that just a minute ago when you were saying, oh, I could do my meditation, but I'm now aware of the energy that I bring. Like if I'm just doing it because I need to do it is different than if I step into it with joy. And that's the point of the things that we know, they don't change anything.
Yeah.
But the things that we do, they change everything.
Well,
right?
They do. And I'm so glad that, like you said, hey, I don't like this word, like selfish. Like taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's actually part of if you're in a service role, and like I'm in a service role as a leader.
You need to provide for you to be able to give, but you also need to be that example for other people, right? That he's full.
Yeah.
I could be full too, right? That service doesn't have to be this from empty, the last drop until we pass out. And then the other person goes, God damn it, I need to pass out too, because otherwise I'm not serving enough. So it's more from this fullness. And when we're saying that the things that we do change everything, it all comes back to the feeling. I'm not the woman for you for 3 tips for productivity. I am the woman for you to go deep into your heart and go, why? Why are we feeling like that? Or how can we feel different? Because joy empowers you in however you feel. If you feel great, it expands that. And if you feel miserable, it gives you this sacred soft landing.
Like joy is intentional. Joy is a choice. Joy is like all of these things. That's why I was so looking forward to this conversation, because we have these moments. And I'm reminded of a book that a mentor recently recommended to me, The Power of TED. And how this mindset, I'm sure you've read it, but like this mindset of a creator or a victim, and like you're creating your joy.
The majority of people assume that joy is loud and very eventful. That's how we associate to joy. But I'm sure that you've had moments in your life where you felt joy deeply, but it was quiet.
Mm.
You're looking at a sunset, you're looking at a piece of art, something moves you, and there's no balloons, there's no clapping, there's no jumping. There's just this feeling of, oh, wow. You feel it, and it's quiet, and it's discreet, but it's powerful. And that's the concept of having joy as many, many flavors. It's like talking about fruit. There isn't one fruit. There's like a million fruits. And you can go from papaya to pineapple and get some grapes in the middle. They're all different. Because fundamentally, when you work with me, right at the end, what you're going to get is a menu where you match every joy to every emotion. So if you're frustrated, you know what the joys that are going to support you in that. If you're sad, what are the joys to go to? Because my clients understand that their certainty doesn't rely on whether the project went ahead or not, whether everybody else is happy or not. Their certainty relies on I can have joy any moment of any day,
How,
whatever I'm feeling.
how do you build the practice?
You built it by, number one, you need to look at what do you like? That's the first question I'll ask you. What do you like? Because you might say to me, I don't really do joy. Like, I don't have joy. We have this assumption that joy arrives in our lives like a lottery ticket. Like, am I going to be the winner? And when I am, is that soon? Like, is it coming? Because joy hasn't visited me for a while. I don't think the joy arrives. I think that you reach for joy. You want joy, you go and you reach for it. And the first step is, what are the things that I like? And you might say to me, I love sitting in my porch. I love birdsong. I don't care what you love, but you're going to list it to me. Like, these are the things that I love. And step after that is you label it joy. That thing that you like is no longer something that you like. It's a moment of joy. So you give it that label. So you tell me something that you like, but this is Dusty for Dusty alone.
I like a quiet morning and a great cup of coffee before everyone else wakes up.
Your coffee becomes your joy. So in preparing your coffee, you're going for joy. You're telling yourself, I'm going to have a moment of joy. So now you're going to choose the most delicious coffee and you're going to look at the most wonderful mug to have it in. And you're going to prepare your thing and you're going to enjoy your coffee like you're swallowing joy. And now you're smiling because it's more than just the coffee. Now you've got the whole energy of delight in it. Then you layer it. You go, if I love the taste, can I have the best mug? Can I have a song with it? Or can I have it on the porch? Or can I have it as I go for a walk? Or you just layer the experience. You add more to it to make it more joyful. And then you use your senses to find more joys. Because what do you like to touch? What do you like to hear? What do you like to do? What do you like to taste? And you can have all those joys all the time. And fundamentally, you become a treasure hunter for joy. And I really want to explain to you the concept of treasure hunter, because I think that it's really empowering for leaders as well. When you lose your keys, for example, you're looking for your keys, but you're in this state of dread, like, oh, if I don't find the keys, I can't get in the car, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. So you're like frantically searching. But if you're invited on a treasure hunt, you are also looking for something. The action is the same. You are searching, but you are in curiosity. So now you're very excited because you're looking forward to what you're going to find. And although you have the same activity, you are looking and you are looking, the energy is very different. And that's what I mean by becoming a treasure hunter. You need to become really curious about where's my next joy that I haven't found yet? What's that other thing that I really like?
How many moments of joy can a person find in their day?
Oh, well, I'm going for Guinness here. Guinness World Record.
Oh, that's what I say. It is late in the afternoon. Maybe you should be having a Guinness.
It's like a nervous system rearrange default thing, right? You just update your nervous system because once you start tracking joy, you just find it everywhere. And then you have a lot less reasons to be miserable because although you do have the stuff that isn't good, the contract that didn't come, the person in your family that is ill, the thing that didn't work, your health isn't great, like whatever your challenges are, it doesn't deny them, but it gives you a whole support system to hold them better.
I'm reminded of, and this is probably a terrible dot connection for me, but of the transformation that happened for Ebenezer Scrooge over the series of, A Christmas Carol, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. The finding of the joys in the moments. And how do you, as a person who works with others to help them unlock joy in their lives, how do you handle someone like Ebenezer Scrooge who shows up with a bah humbug, I'm too busy being miserable to be happy mindset?
Yeah. There's something that he likes, whether it's the shoe that he wears or where he sits or something, even if it is bathing in money, there's something he likes. You just need to find what it is. So you go in and you ask, would you like? And if people can't really track what they like, use your senses. That's the best place to discover your joys. And then you populate your day with them. So, for example, you're taking notes right now. Can you do that in the best paper? Can you wear the use your most favorite pen? Can you have a card up in your office that cracks you up every time because it's just so funny? Can you have the photo of people that you love? Can you play your favorite song? Can you press play on your phone and have that voice message from your friend or from your mama, or that sweet message that you love every time you listen to it? It's just bringing those things more forward in your life, having them more around you, having them more present. And then you create those rituals that are very personalized because you love nature. But for me, it's all about the beach. Like the love that I have for nature is I want to be by the ocean and I want to be by the beach. I don't find that up a hill. And somebody is going to love the sunshine. And I know someone who loves walking in the rain and feeling the cold, crisp air in the morning. So there isn't no right or wrong joys. But it's about finding your own and making sure that they're happening all the time. And some are seasonal, it only snows in winter. But if you love snow, it's the anticipation that it's coming. And when it comes in winter, that becomes another joy that you reach for, to touch it, to ski in it, to do whatever you do with your snow days. And then you have the reoccurring joys. And those are the most important, the ones that you have every single day: the shower, the coffee, the pen, the card that you giggle at. And the more you have that, the more you're connected to your aliveness. But this is also very much based on a principle that life isn't either or. Life is also and. This is a core principle that I have. You aren't sad or happy. You are not upset or joyful, disappointed or grateful. You are both. It's a timeless and continuous dance. And in one moment, one may be stronger than the other. One can even be both. They can even be both simultaneously. You can be devastated because you've lost all your income. And you can be elated because you've just experienced the most beautiful orgasm. They coexist. In the same hour, you can have the biggest disappointment and the biggest joy. And it's knowing that they live together. Because I have a lot of clients that say to me, I can't be smiling because I'm sad. Almost this sense of betrayal to your sadness. Like, if I smile, then I'm not really that sad, am I?
Yeah. So life is not binary. It's not 1 or 0. It's the genius of the and that Jim Collins talks about.
Yes,
like we are
exactly.
solving for the genius of the and.
Yes. Life is this and that,
Yes.
the and also rather than the either or. And so I had a client that their sister was really ill and she was saying to me, I can't be like happy because it's not fair on her. And I said, but how wonderful would it be for her to have a smile? Rather than just to have everybody feeling horrific and she's already horrific, like the whole thing is horrific. Could you gift her with a smile that makes her smile? But you have to create that first before you can deliver it to her. And if your energy is of the sunshine is out and I just had the most wonderful lemonade, maybe she wants some lemonade. It's about inviting people into things that are beautiful. And your life is not perfect, but it's also not depleted of possibility. And joy invites you to be in possibility and to stay empowered and energized and tracking what's good and what's possible and to hold you in the misery. And I do think that we don't associate joy with misery. But for example, for me, if I'm really sad, there's a time for me to just be sad. But then I don't want to live there, right? Like I want to visit, but this is not my home. I don't want to live in sadness. And I know the stand-up comedy, that's my joy right there. Once I've done the sad, that I felt it, and okay, I want to move from this now. I put some live stand-up comedy, and now I'm laughing. I'm laughing at connections I wouldn't have made, things that I wouldn't put together. but I'm giggling and I'm laughing. And now I have that experience of also, and I am sad and I can also laugh.
Most leaders don't need more advice. They simply need clarity. That's what the Vision to Victory scorecard is all about. It's free, it's fast, and it gives you a clear picture of where you are and what's next. Start now at clarityalignmentexecution.com. Let's make sure that your next step forward is the right one. One of my questions is, as you're talking about joy, like it's contagious, like it's energetic, I can feel it coming through the system today. As you are describing this and a person is listening and goes, I hear you, I believe what you're saying, how do I find it? Walk me through two things. So there's two questions here, two-part question. Question one is, what is the transformation that I could or should expect when I make these conscious choices to seek joy in the small things or the big things? So that's question number one. And then question number two is, how on earth do I start? Like you started a minute ago, said, hey, write down something joy. Like I imagine people can, what I want is for someone to listen to this episode to be inspired and to just go try it and then go, well, holy crap, that works. Let me do more of that. Let me learn more, from Raquel, or, read up and study. But what is the transformation a person can expect, and how do they get started?
There are many benefits. I'd say my favorite is becoming independent and feeling good. You feel good because you feel good, not because other people give that to you. Because sometimes people are not capable of that. They are dealing with their own stuff, or they're away, they're absent, or they can't come to you, or they can't be with you. And then because you rely on others to feel good, you cannot feel good on your own. And that is where codependency starts. Like if your kids are not around, you're not happy. If your wife doesn't smile, you're not happy. And you're dependent on them being happy for you to feel anything that's good. So by having your own joy, you're happy regardless, of circumstances. Like the coffee still tastes divine, whether it's a good day or a bad day, whether you feel energized or not, the coffee still tastes delicious. It's that reminder that beauty is everywhere. So the benefits are the freedom in choosing how you feel, of exacerbating the good, and of having a support, soft, comfy cushion when it's not good. Because when you're sad and you're crying, it's easier to do that having your favorite drink and holding your favorite blanket. But you brought that. You chose that. You gave that to yourself. We give a lot to everybody else, but we don't give enough to us. And what we don't talk about is the quiet resentment that we build, because you didn't do it, Dusty. You didn't turn up. You didn't call me. You didn't get me the sexy blanket when I was so sad. But then I ask my clients a lot, why don't you give to you what you so long for? Why does it have to come from everybody else? So it's this ritual of becoming independent and being empowered by giving to you what you really long for. And you start by the minute things of your day. You said to me, I love my coffee. Great. If you love your meditation, how can that ritual be joyful? Where are you going to do it? At what time are you going to do it? And if you say to me, oh, Raquel, I do it in my office, or I do it on the porch, can that be in the best seat? Can that be in the great comfy cushion that you put on the decking? Can that be upstairs in your bedroom because you have a beautiful view? You just start tailoring the experience, something that you already like, into Dusty version. You just keep dustying it as much as possible so it's yours and crafted by you. And you just feel it more because it's your unique touch to it. You've crafted it. And the whole experience is really about bringing the magnificence of the mundane. The mundane is magnificent if you make it just like your cup of coffee or your shower or the most simple things.
We've already talked about it a little bit, but I just think it's worth restating. So often as leaders, we pour from our cup. We feel an obligation. We feel a sense of need. We feel that it's a duty to pour. And especially if we are embracing an ethos of servant leadership, we're embracing the leadership as service. And I keep thinking about the importance of leading yourself first, the importance of filling your own cup. And it really becomes an exponential power. When your cup is full, the impact, the ripple effect from that on others. You serve better when your cup is full. Your organizations are more joyful when you are investing in your own joy, when you are identifying those little things. And you know what? If someone else doesn't choose to be joyful, that's okay. You can still make that choice. You still get to do that choice. You still get to embrace joy in the mundane. Like, I'm not going to look at my cup of coffee tomorrow morning the same way. It won't be
exactly.
It won't be a routine. It will be a blessing. I'm thinking about, and it's so funny that you said this. One of my meditation practices, guided meditation I love to do, will often be, think to a place where you felt peace and you felt joy and you feel a sense of calm. And no matter how many times I've done that meditation, that particular practice, it's probably dozens or hundreds of times now because it is my absolute favorite. I almost always think of the same mental image. And it's crazy enough, it was in a hammock on a hike in the mountains by myself. There is nothing special about that moment as far as its specificity. It wasn't some, won the Nobel Prize thing.
Yes.
It was a cold day in a hammock in the warm sun in Colorado on a hike where I had nowhere to be and nothing to do but think and write in my journal. And I almost always go to that moment of joy. And what I'm struck by as I hear you talking, as I keep thinking about this dynamically, is those moments are available to us all day, every day, if we choose to embrace them.
And between the conversation that you're having with me and the next thing you're going to do, it could be a minute. It could be a minute that you contemplate something, that you look at your favorite photo, that you touch something that means something to you, that feels great on your skin. You just need moments, but you need to have more. What my goal is, when you go back to that meditation in a week, in a month, that it's difficult to choose, which is the joyful moment, because you're experiencing them so often rather than being the exception. They become how you feel most of the time. You go for them every day. I think with leaders, the thing that nobody talks about is that when you are a master of anticipation, you're looking at every obstacle coming up. You excel at being ready all the time to deal with every possible consequence. When you are all this, you are also extraordinary at hiding how truly exhausting it is to hold every element of your world together. It's very tiring emotionally to hold all the plates that the leaders hold, because you're a leader at home, you're a leader at work, you're a leader in your community. And when I say leaders, I so often think of mums. They are great leaders.
Absolutely.
So I don't necessarily mean that is your title. It may not be your title, but that is what you do. You lead. And so when you're holding so many responsibilities that are not even your own, they are other people's, you're holding it for them, with them, you hide how tired that makes you, how depleting it is to be thinking of what's going to go wrong, how I'm going to fix it, how can I anticipate it. And when you spend all your life doing this, you do wonder, I have it all. Like, I have the money, I have the status, I have this, I have my family. But why don't I feel great? You don't feel great. You're constantly depleted. And we need to reinvigorate you. And I don't want that to come from your dependence on other people to give it to you, to do it for you. I want you to become completely independent in that, but with a trust and an invigoration rather than another to-do list. Because that is the ultimate failure for me, is when you say, oh my God, I haven't done my joys today. Your joys they cannot be on your to-do list. They have to be this exciting thing that you get to do for yourself, not another job to be done.
So you're not saying take 6 joys and call me in the morning. It's really, you've got to be,
No.
and I'm being totally, snarky with that, but that's not what it's about. And I'm thinking there's a great book, Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy, The Gap and the Gain. And is how many people spend so much of their lives, especially those who have been successful and entrepreneurs and founders and leaders, so relentlessly focused on the gap that exists between where they are and where they want to be, that they never revel in the gain and take the moment to look back and go, look how far I've come. And you're taking this an even step further, which is to say, within the day, I can be fully present and joyful with this pen, with this paper. I can choose to manufacture moments of gain, moments of joy within my day. I love it. And as a leader, I think it's, I hear this, and that's why, I was so excited to have you on the show, because it's not your traditional, in fact, this whole show is not your traditional leadership show where we're just going to talk to great leaders and here's the decisions they made, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's some of it, but leadership is influence. And John Maxwell, that's one of his most famous quotes. It's certainly one of my most favorite quotes. Leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. And so when you talk about, a mom being a leader, well, absolutely. Does she have influence? Of course she does.
Of course she does, yeah.
And do you have influence over your own destiny? Do you have agency? And you have agency over your own joy.
Yes.
Like that's
yes,
so
you
powerful.
do. And I want you to have more of it. And I want other people to notice that there is a different smile or a bigger smile or a more recurrent smile, and think, well, I can have that too. I can smile more. I think if you're miserable and I ask you why, you just go, well, that's how I am. Everybody accepts it. But then if you're beaming, it's like, you're weird. Why are you so happy? Like, you're not supposed to be that happy. And it's like, change the game. Make that your default. Like, I am happy and I am in awe of how much I've done and how much I make possible and how much I hold and everything that surrounds me. Then you need to have that comparison, don't you, Dusty? You look at countries that don't have massive wealth, especially the children, and they have no shoes and they have no this and no that. And the beaming smile because they're playing football, because they're splashing in the water. And that isn't because they have everything locked in and every guarantee and every certainty in the world. It's because they've decided that if they're swimming, they're going to really swim it. And if they're playing, they're going to really play it. And I want people to become more playful. I think we all miss the moments where we were more playful, we were more adventurous, but then the responsibilities kicked in and your to-do list kicks in and everything that relies on you, that depends on you, kicks in. But it doesn't exclude it, right? We go back to the also and. I am responsible for a lot. Can I giggle in between? Can I look at the sunshine and go, I love you? Can I make a great cup of coffee? Can I have the most gorgeous shower? I mean, I love music, so I have music with me a lot. And sometimes I want to dance to it, and other times I just want that quiet, lovely song. But in the car, I do my joy a lot. I love the radio because of the surprise element of it. I love not knowing what's coming. I don't think we have enough surprise in our lives. So I do have my playlist that I play. But then when I'm in the car, I'm always like pressing for the next radio station, going, what's going to be? What's going to be? And then I get the song and then I sing it. And then I don't like this one. I'll move it. But it's about knowing that wherever you are in your environment, there's another little joy waiting for you. And why can't you have a good time? Why can't you laugh more and be more invigorated? And of course, in my work, I'm then looking at your relationship. I'm looking at what's blocking you. I'm looking at what's not working for you. But it comes from this place of empowerment when you are starting to notice all the things in your life, and you're more in awe with what you are and who you are and what you have already. And from then it's a lot easier to do all the other stuff.
Let me ask you a question. And so there's something that I'm thinking about as you're talking there and you're working with clients. What does joy look like for your client when they have achieved it? Like, what is it they say? What is it they tell you? What is it? Like, so many people, myself included, are looking for the manifestation of a result that I can tangibly taste, see, measure, and understand. Give us an example of a manifestation, a result that you've seen people, like you've talked about yours, but you've seen others achieve because they've embraced the little moments of joy within their lives. What have they shared with you? What have been some of those success testimonials?
That first client that I told you about, she was in a domestic abuse situation. She was stuck in the States. She wanted to return to Finland. She couldn't go because she didn't have permission. But she was very much raising the children on her own, and she was miserable. And then we started doing the joy. And that was the first thing. She said, I don't have any joy. And I said, oh, you do. Just don't know that you do. So I want you to list anything that makes you smile. Anything. And she listed it, and she started telling me. She said, oh, I found 7 things. And we started. And then further along, she texted me and she was like, I'm having a cat party today. So she had 2 cats and she had 3 kids, and she decided that she was going to have a cat party. So they made cat cookies, and they had whatever songs the kids wanted, and they decorated the cats, and they found little toys for the cats. And that afternoon she had a cat party. And she told me my kids loved it. I loved it. Her situation was the same. You know, legally it was the same. Practically it was the same. But the kids are having a party. She's having the party. The cats are having a party. And that afternoon, she was like, I had the best afternoon in my shit life. I loved it. My kids loved it. But then the kids started to ask her, Mum, why are you laughing? Why are you preparing a cat party? And she's like, because we can. Like, we can have a party any moment we choose. And we love our cats, so we're going to make it a cat party. So it might be silly, but I don't really care what it is. I care about the impact that it has. The kids are tracking now. They're going, what makes me smile? What makes me excited? You know, how can I have more of that? And then you also have permission to be silly, right? Like, your joy doesn't have to be my joy, but your joy is going to inspire me. You know, when she told me about the car party, I don't have cats. I was like, that's not working for me. But I could have a 80s party. I could have a coffee party. What kind of party could I have, you know?
Well, for the record, maybe we need to talk to cats about joy, because I don't know a single cat that's ever felt joy being dressed up. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a cat. But
well, maybe it was the cookies that did it for the cats, and the presents that they got.
See, now you're twisting. You're finding joy. Darn you, Raquel. I can't say anything. This is amazing. This is a masterclass.
I have 2 leader clients, and their joys are different, but it's that awareness that you're referring to. One of them loved the shower so much, like the shower concept. She was like, I need better towels. Like, I need them to be fluffier. I'm going to order some towels and I'm going to warm them up. That's what I'm going to do. He decided he wanted podcasts or 80s rock. Like, he missed the 80s rock. So that's what I'm going to have in the shower. So his shower sequence started to be like really uplifted. And then we worked on his values and different things. And he's like, I'm going to laminate that, put that on the freaking shower so I can see that too. So you just take it into different directions of how you layer it.
And it's done completely based on you layer it for what works for you, because it's your choice and it's your joy.
It's personal to you. It's personal to you. Yeah. If I bring the cat party to you, that doesn't mean anything to you.
Right.
It will mean something for somebody who has that connection. And that's the whole point of designing it for you. I have a new client who's a leader, and he was just quiet going, oh, I need to find mine. But he's smiling, you know, like, And we had a discussion about wording actually, because he said, "Oh, I did my scavenger for joys," and I was like, "No, that is forbidden. You cannot What is scavenger? A scavenger is what's been, abandoned by somebody
Hmm.
else that's of good use to you. Scavenger is what you get from dead animals. It's what a homeless person retrieves because it's of use to them. We are not scavenging. We are treasure hunting because we are
Mm.
going for the prize. What is it? And I'm going to find it. And he loved that concept of, oh, I didn't realize that I was using that word. And okay, I'm treasure hunting.
I think that's a really important distinction, that the little words that we choose to program into
Yeah.
our mindset are important. Like, am I scavenging or am I treasure hunting? That's a
And that's what
powerful
you get
reframe.
when you have the one-to-one, Dusty. You have that intimate, personal conversation. But generally, what people feel in tracking their joys is they feel really empowered in how they feel, even
Mm.
when they feel upset. They're like, okay, I'm not alone. I have my joy. Like my joy, I can have it anytime I want. They feel less abandoned, like they feel more assured. Their certainty now relies on, I have me, because that is the thing. The relationship you have with you is the most intimate and longest that you will ever have. And when we can't rely on us, we doubt the entire world. Joy is about giving you that certainty that you can power your life with joy, regardless of your circumstances. And I've worked with people in really crap circumstances, and I've worked with people in great circumstances, but they're not looking at joy the way I look at joy. They don't see joy in sadness. They don't see joy can be quiet. They don't see joy the way I see joy. So when they bring joy in this way, they see it everywhere and they can use it a multitude of times.
And I can only imagine it changes the results of their life.
If you're more alive in the sense of aliveness, like if you feel more alive, when you're in love and everything sparkles, what if you were so in love with you and the life that you have and what you can make possible and what you have made possible? That's the concept. It's this feeling in love with what is and what can be. Because I have this strong belief that we are not our yesterdays as much as we are our tomorrows. Because we can design those tomorrows, we can preempt them or line them up or be in the right place at the right time or smile more so they can come. And it's about designing that and knowing how much power you have and how you feel. And so when people start to feel more alive, more present, more excited, they're tasting more, they're looking more, they're feeling more, their entire life comes alive.
I feel like we could talk for another couple hours. I'm going to have you back so we
Three
can go
days, Dusty.
at least. We're going to have you back so we can go deeper here. I'm thinking of a couple things. One is I have a dear friend that I've known for years and years, and one of the things I love about her so much is she always shares, "We get to do this," and
Yes,
when she
I
hears
love
this
that.
episode, she's going to know exactly who it is. But she is like one of those people that, man, life is so good. She lives with this level of joy.
Yes,
And so, Raquel, we could talk for days. Unfortunately, it's going to be late in your time neck of the woods pretty quickly. I'm
that's
going to
fine.
switch us a little bit to some rapid fire questions,
Okay.
and and then I've got something I want to close with. But and a couple of these, I want to get your thoughts on one or two of these as I've been thinking about this conversation. What is a book that you think everyone should read?
Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.
All right. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. I have
Yeah,
not read that book, so I'm going to go
love
add
it.
that to my
But
list.
that's like I don't mean it religiously, but that is like a Bible. It is huge. There is everything there, but it will change your life. If you take it in, it is life changing. I also love The Power of Why, like Find
Mm,
Your Why by Simon Sinek. I
yep.
love that.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
one of my
those
all-time
two.
favorites. Have you
Those two.
read? All right,
Atomic Habits. Put that one in there too.
we're going to put all these in the show notes, and I
Yeah,
love all of
Atomic
these.
Habits.
Except I have not read Awaken the Giant Within. So that one's going on my reading list tomorrow.
Yes.
Have you read The Book of Joy, a conversation between Desmond Tutu and...
Yes, I have it.
Okay.
The Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Yes, I have it.
A mentor gave that one to me last year, and I loved that conversation, the Dalai Lama. And my wife's actually met the Dalai Lama before, and she said it was the most interesting thing when he came into the room. There was it was like there was a calmness and a joy, and it was a manifestation of energy that she could not describe other than the presence of this person changed the room. And that's what I'm thinking about when we embrace our own inner joy.
Yes.
Our presence can change the room no matter what room we're in, because we are in that room.
People are quite quiet about it. Not a lot of people will tell you, Dusty, but they feel it. You know, whatever energy you're bringing, they may not tell you, but they will tell others, you know, their wives, their husbands. When I met Dusty today, this is what I felt. So I do think our energy is contagious.
You get out of the world what you put into the world. And I could not agree with you more about energy being contagious. Okay. What is your leadership superpower? Not leadership in the lens of, hey, I've got 100 employees and all that, but leadership is influence. What is your leadership superpower?
Being the best mom I can be, because that's going to change the world, because I'm making some really good people. So there's one. And the second one, it's more of a skill. I'd say it's describing emotions, like putting emotions into words. That's a talent.
That is a talent. Okay. How do you define success today?
Doing what you love as often as you love for the love of it.
That's a quote we're going to steal. I love that. That's amazing. Okay. If you could leave one final thought with our listeners about growth, resilience, joy, purpose, whatever it is, what is the soundbite, the thought that you want them to walk away from this conversation with?
You are more than your circumstances. They don't define you. They do not define you. They define this moment. That's where you're starting from. That's where you're at right now. But they are not the summary of your life. I mean, you have agency. Go do it.
Raquel, this is amazing. Thank you so incredibly much. I feel
I've loved
joy
it
from having had this conversation. This is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you want to keep building your leadership toolbox, subscribe to Leadership Unlocked on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or visit arcusgroup.com/podcast. And if you found value in today's conversation, share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Who knows, the life you change may unlock something great within them. I think we can all agree that Raquel brings passion, energy, and absolute joy to every conversation. I love today's conversation because we got into not just the power of joy, but what it can unlock when you choose to embrace and find joy in the smallest moments, in the things that you love, and how you can be present for that and let that create joy in your life. This is Leadership Unlocked. If today's episode gave you something to think about, something to apply, then there's more where that came from. Head over to arcusgroup.com and sign up for our newsletter. It's where we share tools, insights, and our leadership frameworks to help you lead with more clarity, more alignment, and more impact. No fluff, just what helps you lead better. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time on Leadership Unlocked.